Pasensya nyo na po kung sa baba ako nakatingin. Pero yung totoo sa screen lang, wala po akong binabasa. Disclaimer. Yung ako English, di ko alam eh. Hello guys, I'm going to my room where I will do my vlog. So, I'm here now, inside my room. As you can see, it's messy. So, I'm going to discuss today about preschoolers' artistic development. So the first stage is scribbling stage. This stage begins with large zigzag lines, which later it become circular marking. Soon, discrete shapes are drawn. The child may start to name their drawing. So the next stage, or the second stage, is pre-schematic stage. So in the second stage, it may already include early representations, and at this point, adults may be able to recognize their drawings. The children tends to give the same names in several times for their drawings. Drawings usually comprise of a prominent head with basic elements, and later arms, legs, body, and even faces are included. So the third and the last stage is schematic stage. In the third stage, more elaborate scenes are depicted. Children usually draw from experience and exposure, and drawings usually includes houses, trees, suns, and even the skies and people. Initially, their drawings may appear floating in the air, but eventually, drawings appear to follow a ground line, like that. So it is also important to remember that the preschoolers' representations and drawings or other forms of artistic expression does not only involve fine motor skills but also cognitive skills. Children's drawing allow us to have a glimpse on how they understand themselves and their environment, even the world around them. So the next is preschoolers, nutrition, and sleep. The kind of nutrition of a preschooler gets a far-reaching effect on his or her physical growth and development. So the preschooler's nutritional status is the result of what his or her actually takes in check against the nutritional requirements, even if it is the celebration every July, which is called Nutrition Month, advocating the proper nutrition in our country because of more preschoolers or more children rather does not have proper nutrition. So every year, the Nutrition Month advocates good nutritional habits, while the government campaign feeding program in every public schools or barangays. Um, um, this so that so it is important to a preschooler to get enough to get sufficient amount of sleep from about 10 to 12 hours each day. Um, these were the vital biological processes when they are asleep that affect physical and cognitive development of a preschooler. So during sleep, especially the dream state, growth hormones are released. So the blood supplies to the muscles where they can regain energy. At this state, while dreaming, brain activity is also attained. So a quick look of what preschoolers can do. Physical skills.
Hi, I'm Kendra. I'm a physical therapist at the University of Michigan Milestones, specializing in pediatric rehabilitation. I'm here to share with you today some ideas to improve your child's fine motor and gross motor skills, all with things that you can find lying around your house. So let's get started. One of the skills we work on most frequently in physical therapy is balance. And I really found that a basic 2x4 is a great way to improve balance with a kid. So you can ask your child to walk across the balance beam. So go ahead, Greg, walk across the balance beam. And now if you're out in the community, you could use a curb or even cracks in a sidewalk to improve balance. Good, and if that's too easy, have your child start again at the beginning. Come on over here. And you can increase the challenge by having them walk across the balance beam and pick up objects from the ground or step over things. So go ahead, Greg, go ahead, step over there and pick those objects up. You can also do things like even playing a game on a balance beam to increase the challenge of this activity. Another skill that we work on frequently in therapy is dynamic balance, which refers to a child's ability to stand on an uneven or wobbly surface. So we've got Anna here on a kind of a squishy foam, but you could easily use like a couch cushion or a pillow. We've upped the challenge with Emmy. She's standing on a pool noodle. And this would be great to work on maybe while you're watching TV, during commercials, or while you're playing a board game. Another great way to work on finger and hand strengthening is Play-Doh, and you can buy it commercially or even find lots of recipes online to make your own. You know, the great thing about Play-Doh is almost all activities require use of 2 hands, which is an important skill for younger kids. So first, let's take our Play-Doh and roll it into a snake. So we're gonna keep our fingers straight and roll it back and forth. Good, nice and long. And now we'll take our snake and stack it up and smash them into a pancake as hard as you can. Push them together as hard as you can. Squish, 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 squish. Good. To further work on its fine motor skills, you can hide small things like beads into the Play-Doh, roll it up, and then have your child try to pick out the treasures. Another great skill to work on over the summer is hand-eye coordination. Hand-eye coordination is good not only for sports and play activities, but also for fine motor skills like copying words down from the board. So a great rainy day activity is balloon tennis, and you can make your racket out of a spatula or a paper plate taped to a paint stirrer. Now, see how many times your kids can hit the balloon back and forth without letting it hit the floor. Go ahead, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we'll go to 10. Oh, nice job, very good. For fine motor skills, one of the biggest goals is to work on finger and hand strengthening, and we like to do that with a game called Feed the Monster. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a tennis ball, can I see your ball for a minute, Anna? And use a utility knife to cut about a 2-inch opening, and then have your child decorate the face around the lips. You're gonna have your child hold the ball right on either side of the lips, give it a big squeeze, and then put something into his mouth. Our monsters at Milestones like to eat pennies, but you can feed your monster whatever you like at home. As you can see, it doesn't take expensive toys or equipment to work on your child's fine and gross motor skills at home. A little creativity can go a long way. If you have concerns regarding your child's fine or gross motor skills, be sure to...
So let's go to the personal care and hygiene of a preschooler.
Hygiene by being a good role model, encouraging children to develop good personal hygiene, identifying hazards to health and hygiene, dealing with waste safely and appropriately, and knowing about the principles of food hygiene.
The next part is the role of caregivers. So the caregivers, it's either the parent or a teacher or other relatives in their house or school. So the optimum physical development of a preschooler is largely influenced by their caregivers, who provide stimulating environment and appropriate activities for the children. So by analyzing the videos, you can identify what can caregivers do or help in preschoolers.
Hi, I'm Tanya Allen. You know, getting a great start on early learning set me on the path to success, and I hope you will join me to make sure all of our kids get that same chance. Many of the kids who grew up in my neighborhood didn't get that help, and it set them behind, but it made a world of difference for me. We parents and caregivers are all responsible for the children in our lives. That's why the Great Start Regional Child Care Resource Centers, your local early learning centers, the United Way of Southeastern Michigan, and Detroit Public Television got together to create a series of quick tips to help keep our children learning in everyday life. Because when our kids get a great start in early learning, they're more likely to succeed in school and out in the world. Here are 3 examples.
Infants and toddlers communicate what they know. They cry when they need comfort. They coo at familiar playthings. They imitate our voices to express themselves. Talking to your child throughout the day and paying attention to their gestures and sounds builds trust and gives them a head start in learning to communicate. The conversation may seem a bit one-sided at first, but over time, your child will respond with words. That's how children learn language. They soak up all the spoken words from adults in their lives, and they connect what you talk about with the world around them. So keep talking with the child you care for, and pay attention to how they respond to your voice. These are a child's first steps to learning to speak.
Have you seen my wallet? Son, have you seen my wallet? Come on. All right, I spy.
Great idea! By playing I Spy for things like shapes, numbers, even rhymes. A child starts to grasp the basic concepts of math, literacy, and art to help on their path to becoming active learners and responsible grown-ups. But wait, there's more. You will also have turned a grown-up chore into a fun activity for everyone.
What color is his body?
What body?
His body, what color is this?
Conversation is essential to how we relate to one another and share experiences. But sometimes when we talk to kids, we tend to dominate the conversation by asking too many questions rather than really listening to what the child has to say. It's important to resist the urge to control the conversation. Instead, let them talk first and often. Kids also respond to genuine curiosity and interest. So instead of asking specific questions like, "What color is that?" try more open-ended responses like, "How can you tell?" or "How do you know that?" The more the child you care for can discuss their interests with you, the more they develop their language skills and the closer you both will become.
Catch our quick tips every day on public television stations across Michigan. And you can watch all the tips together online. Just go to dptv.org or check out the Great Start Michigan channel on YouTube. We are here to help parents and people who care for children in Michigan. And we have excellent training programs and quality resources for you. And they're free. Would you like to learn more? All you have to do to get started is call 211 or connect with us online at greatstartconnect.org. Please join us. You can meet other parents and caregivers, learn and share ideas, and together we will make sure all of our children get a great start in early learning.
What's up, guys? Good morning. My name is Dale Anthony and welcome to my vlog. For today's video, our topic is about preschooler or the early childhood. So the purpose of this video is to give you more information and knowledge about the preschooler and to cite some examples and significant changes of physical development, social development, and cognitive development of an early childhood or a preschooler. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and before I start this video, I just want to say thank you to Ma'am Early Galano for surprising me last week for my post-celebration birthday. I'm really happy to, you know, wait. Ayan, so I will not cry in this video, but I just want to say thank you for and the others for helping Mom Early out for that surprise. It's really heartwarming and I really appreciate it, and I hope that more blessings will come to you, Mom, and I hope that somehow it will give to other students the courage to talk with their families. And so that's it. Yeah, and I also want to thank Isabel for helping me out in this video, because some of my examples here in this vlog will be her son, 4. So we're actually going to see her son for doing the preschooler activities. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure to fill in to fill the right information for the evaluation slip, and make sure to have your handouts, and because it will also guide you to the vlog. It will help you guide on this vlog. So please, guys, stay tuned and welcome to my vlog. And that's it. For the first topic in this video is about preschoolers' physical changes and activities. So before we start citing some activities or changes of a preschooler, let us now first identify or tell you what a preschooler is. So a preschooler or an early childhood is commonly known as it is also the years for formal schooling, so that is why it has the root word pre. So I think it's very essential than schooling age, because it will this span of age will definitely give the child the foundation for later development, and it's also what we call it is also what we call the milestones for development. And it is because before formal schooling, the children acquire knowledge and skills before formal schooling. So I think it's very important and essential to guide our children, our future children, in this age, of course, to make them better to look better and to think better. So, of course, a preschooler roughly covers the ages from 3 to 5, and of course, as future teachers, we need to be more knowledgeable about preschoolers, since at this time we're in, we have to put knowledge, appropriate knowledge to the children. So that is why this age is very important and delicate, because it is wherein we're going to the child are going to acquire new knowledge and skills to make them to prepare them for the schooling age. Tada! I have glasses. Now that you already know the physical characteristics of a preschooler or the early childhood, now I'm going to give you 6 facts about physical growth of a preschooler. Number 1. The physical development of a preschooler increases. So it has been seen, or it can be seen in their physical body. So a preschooler grew more taller than a toddler, and they change or they transform from a baby-like toddler into a more appearance of a child. So the muscles are much bigger and the legs are much longer than a toddler. So that is some of the physical changes or the physical growth that may happen, that is eventually happening during preschooler ages, and that's a check. Number 2, the sense of balance of a preschooler increases. So it is also appropriate from late preschooler age 6 to 5, wherein we can teach preschooler the balancing skill like riding a bike and dancing. It's because it requires more balance. So what that is because from a toddler, the center of the gravity of the toddler is right above their chest, or it's actually in their chest level. So that may result from toddle to toddle. So unlike in preschooler, they grew much taller, so the gravity level is right above their center of the gravity, or the level are near in the belly button, and that may give the ability to acquire more balance, since the lower the gravity level, the more stable the balance is. So that is why early childhood or the preschooler no longer toddle. So that's it. That's also a check. For fact number 3, dental hygiene or dental health of a preschooler increases at this age. So at the age of 3, all primary teeth, or what we call baby or milk teeth, are all in place, and by the late ages of 5 and 6, all permanent teeth are developing or growing at that age. It's very important to guide a preschooler at this age to learn more about dental hygiene. It is when we have to teach them how to brush them teeth, because it is the way of approaching the children the right or the sense of dental care. So as a caregivers or parents and the future teachers, we must encourage the students at the age of a preschooler or the late preschooler before schooling to make use of proper hygiene of dental care. I mean, so let's check dental health. For fact number 4, this is the time wherein the children are in the stage of handedness, wherein there are sudden scenarios wherein they have they are now at this age they're going to choose whether it is the right hand to write, and for the from the left hand, I mean, to right, or from the right side, I mean. And that's it. So we can observe our children changing pens or crayons at his hands and trying to make themselves more comfortable when writing or eating. So what I mean here in fact number 4 is that we must guide our children at this preschooler age. It's because this is the time wherein they're now going to choose wherein which hand will use to eat, which hand will use in drawing and painting, and such that if we learn or teach our children or guide them the appropriate hand, we can clearly state, or we can clearly observe that the children doesn't have the what do you call this one, the hesitation or the trouble to use both hands or to choose whether it's left or right to use. So that's it. I hope you get this fact number 4 because it's very hard to explain. That's it. Fact number 4. Fact number 5. So the sense of self-help activities of a preschooler increases. It is when the child is independently changes his clothes just in his own. We can observe that in preschooler age. So we must guide our children at the preschooler age, or to teach them the proper way of changing clothes and on how to properly wear clothes to help them be more independently when it comes to changing clothes. And another thing in self-help activities, and at the preschooler age, it is the time that they develop the manner of eating alone. So they love eating, they love to eat their own food using their own spoon and their own fork to feed themselves. So it's very important also to guide them independently and to teach them the appropriate, of course, to make the right thing to do independently. Oh my god. And that's it. That's fact number 5. Self-help activities increases. For the last fact, which is fact number 6. So preschoolers at this age loves or enjoys being active. So this is the time wherein our preschooler siblings or cousins love to switch or move places to one another. Also, they love to work with their hands, and this fact number 6 is also the introduction for the gross and fine motor skills, which is also my topic. It also happens to be my topic. So I hope that the fact number 6 were clearly stated that preschoolers are very active or they enjoy being active at this age. So I hope you guys enjoy the 6 facts about preschooler, and wait for my second part of my blog, which is the gross and fine motor skills of a preschooler. And stay tuned for my blog. I hope you watch this for the second part, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Wait for my second part.
Bulaga. Eat. Bulaga. Eat. O, kiss mo na lang si Pound. Dali, Por. Kiss mo si Pound. Kiss mo si Pound. Kiss si Pound. Kiss. Kiss.
Kiss mo na. Ay,
Kiss mo na.
hug mo na. Hug.
Lapit mo dyan dito. Ayan na. Ayan na.
Good morning. Good morning, classmates. My name is Dale Anthony. So I am here in this video to show you some examples of gross and fine motor skills of an early childhood. But before that, we're now going to discuss first what is gross and fine motor development of a preschooler. So first one is the gross motor activities or the gross motor skills of a preschooler. So the gross motor skills requires this is the activity that requires large muscles. So gross motor activities or motor skills is categorized into 3. So the first one is the locomotor, the second one is the non-locomotor, and the third one is the manipulative skills. So let's first discuss the first category, which is the locomotor. So locomotor skills or activities are those activities that move from a place to another. So some of the activities of a preschoolers are walking, running, skipping, and jumping. So the second one is the non-locomotor, wherein it is the activities that does not move from a place to another, and by means it stays in its place, like stretching, bending, and some of activities that are that stays in the place. I mean, that stays on its place. So the third one is the manipulative skills. So it involves some receiving or throwing skills or objects of an early childhood. So some of the activities or examples are throwing balls, throwing and receiving a ball. So that is the gross motor activities. So we as future caregivers or teachers, we should give the preschooler or our children at this age a appropriate activities suited for this age or suited for their development to maintain their muscles to be healthy and firm. So the second one is the fine motor skills, wherein the early childhood or the preschooler requires small muscles like on its hands. So some of its activities are involved in its involves hands, like self activities like eating on its own. So some of also activities are the handedness, wherein they use independently to draw, to write their own name, and so on. So I think that is the gross and fine motor activities, and those two activities and skills is something that early childhood should know and develop at their age. So we must teach them at the age the different skills to prepare them from the formal schooling. So some different environment also gives different result of skills that may have. So when we say that some urban countries or rich people who has or who had the has the the capability of buying a phone from their children at the age of at their young age, of course. So they very some of the children nowadays are very exposed to gadgets like PS4 and computers. So in fine motor skills, they use their hands to use the mouse, to use the keyboard. So unlike from the other children, or unlike from the other environment, like from agricultural countries, they other childrens are just playing outside. So they use more large muscles than other children who uses just phones and computer activities. So I think we must expose our children to both gross and fine motor skills to develop both good benefits from our children. So I hope you guys, even though my English is bad, I hope you really understand my topic, and it is all about gross and fine motor skills. So that's it. I hope this video is somehow help you. Of course, you have your handouts to guide you, of course, in listening this video, since maybe you can hear me but you have the handouts. So please bear with the technicalities. I am not good in editing, so I cannot give you subtitles for this video, but please don't forget to our evaluation forms. And of course, I'm going to give you examples after this vlog, and be sure to cite the activities, the gross and fine motor activities that I mentioned earlier. So that's it for my video. I hope you enjoyed this part 2 of my vlog, and I'm going also to show you the activities of Isabel's son. Is also he is now actually at the age of a preschooler, advanced preschooler actually. So the video of her son will show you some of activities that a preschooler can do. So ayun. And guys, I hope that that this video will satisfy your needs. So thank you and God bless. Goodbye. Thank you.
What is up, you guys? It's your girl Sabi, Isabel E. Argente, and the next topic that I will be sharing to you is the cognitive development of preschoolers. In Piaget's theory of cognitive development, the second stage, which is the pre-operational stage, has two substages, the symbolic substage and the intuitive substage. Symbolic substage occurs between ages 2 and 4. A child can perform symbolic functions or think about objects even though they are not real or present, while the intuitive substage occurs between ages 4 and 7. A child begins to develop reasoning by asking a lot of questions. This is because they want to understand what and how things are happening around them. We have 6 developmental tasks of this stage. The first one is the symbolic functions, or is the ability to represent objects and events. The example showed that the child symbolically sees his teddy bear as a friend as he plays with it and tries to put him to sleep. It also refers to animism, wherein they fail to distinguish the appropriate occasions for using human and non-human perspectives. Number 3, the egocentrism, or is the tendency of the preschooler to only see his point of view, and assumes that others also sees his point of view. Just like in the video earlier, the child assumes that his parent also sees his teddy as a friend. Well, the truth is, the parent sees the toy as just a toy. Number 4, the centration or unidimensional thought. This occurs when the preschooler only sees and focuses on only one aspect. Example, there is a big bowl and inside is a little amount of ice cream. The child complains because there is only a little amount of ice cream. Then an adult will transfer the little amount of ice cream into a smaller bowl. In that way, the child will be satisfied because he will thought that there is a big amount of ice cream while it was just transferred. Number 5, the reversibility. It's Piaget's term for a pre-operational child's failure to understand that an operation can go into 2 or more directions. Example, a 3-year-old boy sees someone flatten a ball of clay dough. He will not understand that the flattened ball can be reformed again into a ball of clay dough. Number 6, the transductive reasoning. This reasoning shows that the preschooler do not use deductive or inductive reasoning. Instead, they jump from one particular conclusion to another to see the cause where none exists. Example, a child has a piece of chocolate cake and his sister is asking a piece of chocolate cake from him, but the child decides not to give his sister a piece of chocolate cake. Then his sister will get sick. The child will assume that his sister got sick because he did not share the chocolate cake with her sister. Brain research leads us to more effective ways to care and teach preschoolers. Our brain is composed of neurons that connect to each other to functions. These connections are what we call synapses or synaptic connections. Did you know that the human brain is composed of some 50 billion neurons at birth, and at the age of 2, children have developed half of these brain connections. Around 6 years of age, the brain connections develop for more sophisticated thinking patterns. These are the tools that they will carry out throughout their lives. That is why a good environment should be provided for them. A stressful environment, together with trauma and chaos, can affect the cognitive development of the preschooler. As teachers, always be aware in providing them a good environment that will lead to optimum brain development of the preschooler. So that's it, guys. I hope you've learned from my blog, from what I've discussed about the cognitive development of the preschoolers. And I'm currently here in PUP right now with these people. I don't know why I'm here with these people, but yeah, I'm here with them. Hi. Si Baboy. Hi, I hope you listened and I hope you put a high grade on the evaluation because yeah, para madali yung usap natin para wala na akong awayin dyan. Very important. Okay. Bye! Bye! Bye!
What's up, guys? My name is Justine and today I'm going to discuss about the language development of a child or a children. So please bear with me because I don't speak English that well. So please listen carefully to me And that's it. So young children's understanding sometimes gets ahead of their speech, so as they go through early childhood, their grasp of the rules of language increases. This includes the morphology, the semantics, and the pragmatic. Symbolic thinking involves language, literacy, and dramatic play. Children rapidly conclude that sounds link together to make words, and words represent ideas, people, and things. So throughout the preschool years, children's language development becomes increasingly complex in the four main areas. One is phonology, the speech sounds. Two is semantics, the word meaning. Three is syntax, the sentence construction. And number four is pragmatics, or the conversation or social uses of language. So as they advance in age and as they continuously interact with people, preschool children expand rapidly in their vocabulary through the fast mapping. So fast mapping is a process by which the children they know the meaning of that word when they hear it once or twice in a conversation. So I actually relate to this because when I was a kid, whenever I hear my mom say a new word to me, or I hear it from her, like it's a new word for me, I tend to adapt it, like I know the meaning of word based on her facial expression. It is not uncommon for children to use goid for went, G-O-E-D as in G-O-E-D for went, foots for feet, and childs as in with S for children, and rand with ED for ran, an overextension of the rules. Example, if this is a 3-year-old laughing with delight as a summer breeze stirred his hair and tickled his skin, commented, "It did winding me." Or another child said, "My father hatches the wood," meaning his father chops the wood with a hatchet. Okay? Many of these oddities of children sounds like a mistake to us adults, but in their perspective, it is not a mistake. It is right for them. In asking questions, preschoolers tend to cling to a consistent word order, and so they form questions not by following the pattern subject, verb, object order, but by simply saying with a rising intonation the sentence in a natural order, like mother is coming. So likewise, preschool children tend to have difficulty with the sentence in a passive voice when told the car was pushed by a truck. Preschoolers demonstrate a car pushing a truck.
Children are actively seeking and constructing explanations of the world around them. One of the critical ideas that help them make sense of what's going on is called theory of mind. The understanding that other people too have beliefs, desires, and intentions that guide their behavior. When exactly children develop theory of mind is currently being debated in the scientific community. Through about 3 years of age, children have a lot of trouble answering questions about someone else's beliefs, as we will see in the video, wherein a young 3-year-old doesn't yet pass Weimer and Perner classic tests about understanding of false beliefs.
This is Anne, and this is Sally. And this is Sally and Anne's basket and box. And one day, Sally and Anne were playing with a block in their house. And then Sally decided to put the block in the box. And then she decided to go outside and play where she couldn't see or hear anything, right? Yeah. Okay. Now Anne, that tricky Anne, decided to take the block and put it in the basket. Now, since Sally is outside, did she see Anne move the block? No, she didn't, did she? No. So, when Sally comes inside, where will she think the block is? She'll think it's in there. Why will she think it's in there? Because it's in there. Okay.
In the video, it shows that a 3-year-old kid doesn't seem able to put herself in someone else's mental shoes to imagine how they think and what they believe. Perhaps you fault the parenting skill of the parents are to blame. But scientists suggest that understanding other minds is a skill may not be fully developed until a child is about 4 years old.
Jack, this is Anne, and this is Sally. And these are Sally's basket, Anne and Sally's basket and box. And guess what? One day, Anne and Sally were playing with a block in the house. And then Sally decided to put the block inside the box. And then Sally decided to go outside and play, where she couldn't see or hear anything that was happening inside. Bye, Sally. Well, that tricky Anne, guess what she did? She took it out of the box. She took the block and put it in the basket. Now, did Sally see Anne move the block? No.
Because she was outside.
That's right.
Swinging.
That's right, she didn't see. So when Sally comes back in, where will she think the block is?
In there, but it's not. It's in there.
So she'll think it's in the box. Why do you think she'll think that?
Because she put it there.
So, what the video shows, by the time children are about 4 to 5 years old, they now understand that things can be tricky and deceptive, that the things are not always what they seem, and that other people can have different beliefs, even mistaken beliefs.
So that's all for the young children's theory of mind. Now let's move on to the cognitive development milestones of the preschoolers. Cognitive development refers to your action.
Cognitive development refers to your child's ability to learn, to think, and problem solve. While all children develop at a different rate, typically by the age of 3, your children is now learning more through doing and through senses. So they are really active. They like to run around, climb on the things in the playground, and they really like to play dress up, play make-believe. So this is a great time to get them costumes, either princess costumes or pirate costumes, and have them really kind of play with those items and have fun with them. So that's how they learn. So they're also able to know screw and unscrew jars. They are able to turn door handles. They are able to complete 3 to 4 piece puzzles. Also able to stalk about 6 blocks high, and they're also really engaged in knowing the time. They are very into now, soon, later. However, they don't really understand what that means. So this is a really great time to use timers to say things like 5 more minutes of play and maybe set a timer before it's time to wash up. This really gets them engaged in knowing that now is now. And in 5 minutes, when that timer goes off, that's when 5 minutes is up. And while by the age of 5, your child should be able to draw a person with 6 body parts now. They should also be able to copy triangles or other simple shapes as well as copy letters and some numbers. So this is really a great time for them to start to draw. Start to provide them with great opportunities to write more by providing them pencil with lined paper. It is much easier for a child to write letters on the line, and always encourage that their letters starts at the top and go down. This is really a great time for them to learn how to write their name, and it's a great way for you to work with them on achieving that skill. In addition, your child can also now count 1 to 10 or more things. And so using language like how many cars do you see on the street, how many red cars do you see, how many yellow cars, and kind of using the number game with them is great because they are now really able to understand that. So for example, if you're walking down the street and you see 4 girls at the playground, tell to your child that let's count how many girls there are. Let's count how many boys there are. Engaging with your child and having them kind of think and answer these questions is a really great way to encourage them to learn and problem solve and think on their own.
For the cognitive development milestones of preschoolers. So now we can move on to the role of caregivers in the cognitive development of the preschoolers.
Learning about how preschoolers think and learn, one will realize that parents and teachers can do a lot either to help preschoolers develop their cognitive skills or impede them. With the best of intentions, one can do more harm than good if the approach to teaching preschoolers is not appropriate. Some adults think that preschools is to prepare the children to pass the entrance examination of elementary schools, and so they harass the preschoolers to master academic skills. This leads the preschoolers to be stressed and have a negative disposition about school and about learning.
So there are 2 major rules that caregivers...
So to avoid that thing to happen, there are 2 major rules that caregivers need to follow. First, the first one is always talk and talk and talk and talk. From the time of birth, talking to the child has a big impact. With the first babbles, language exchange is important to the child's language development. Talk about your surroundings, things familiar to the child's birth. Name what you see in the house as you ride in the car and as you shop in the stores. If the child speaks in one word utterances, expand the word into a sentence so that the child hears a sentence. For example, when the child says dog, parents should say the fluffy brown dog is barking. Give individual attention for 5 or 10 minutes. The amount of time should match the child's attention span. Be a good listener and follow the child's lead for conversation and enjoyable interaction. And the second rule is Always read and read and read. With pictures, talk about the pictures. If a book has too many words, tell the story more simply in your own words. You may need to begin by talking about the pictures. Read as long as the child's attention lasts. Be ready to read the same books over and over and over again. Talk about the front of the book, the top of the book, and point the words. Play games with sounds. This is very important to the child's reading development. This activity lets the child know that words are made up of sounds, that conversation is made up of words. Storytelling is important, as this activity helps the child know the typical patterns of events that one expects to hear in a story. When your child shows interest in the alphabet, follow your child's lead. Read names and then hint familiar words that begin with the same letter. Help your child know which letters are the same and which are different. If your child has an interest in learning letters of the alphabet, introduce letters that are not similar in their looks or sounds. Use things that are funny and familiar. Encourage your child to draw and tell you the story of the pictures, which you can write down. Children's writing emerges from squiggles, to strings of lines, to favorite letters, to a beginning letter followed by other letters or lines. Children's artwork may consist of lines and colors. Comment on the strong lines. Example, what a great blue color. Reflect on what you see. Ask the child to tell you about the picture. If a child is not interested in drawing, provide plastic animals, people, and vehicles that child can manipulate and use to create a story. So those are the two major rules that help develop the cognitive skills of children, particularly preschoolers. Just always remember that there are many simple everyday occurrences provide excellent opportunities to enhance the child's development. Never underestimate the value of even 15 minutes of quality time spent with a child. So that's the end of my video.
Thank you for watching.
Hello fellas, this is me, Ranis Galano, and this is my vlog. Today, I will interview some people and ask them what comes in their mind when they hear about the preschooler. But for now, I'm gonna pee. Do you want to follow me inside? If you do, then take your own risk. Hey bro, may I ask you something?
Tungkol saan?
About what is preschooler for you?
Preschool. Mga bata, makukulit. Kasi, yung kinder ako, makukulit yung mga klase ko eh. Sa mga bata.
Is that so?
Yeah!
Ah yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. see those 3 students over there? Come on, camera, focus there. Yan. Can you see them? I will interview them about preschooler. Okay? Ayan, yung isang yan. Ayan yung unahin ko. Tapos, dito gawin mo sa kaliwa. Yan, sa kaliwa. Yan, yung pangalawa. Tapos, yan yung tatlo. Yan, yung tatlong yan. Yari yan sa akin mamaya. Hey, good day, sir.
Good day, good day.
Ryan Escolano, vlogger from PUP. I just want to ask you about what comes in your mind when you hear the preschooler.
Para sa akin yung preschooler, ano yan, ito yung first stage na kung saan mag-aaral yung bata. Yun yung first stage ng pag-aaral.
First stage, what else?
Yun lang alam ko.
Okay, maraming salamat, sir. Thank you, Ryan Escolano again. So, we will proceed to the second one. Hello, sir. Good day. This is Ryan Escolano, vlogger from PUP. I just want to ask you something about the preschooler.
For me, preschooler is a first stage for our school. Siya yung pinakauna mong parang kumbaga sa sa hagdan, siya yung pinakauna mong bangin para sa matututo ka na ito. Yun lang po.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hello, this is Ryan Escolano. I just want to ask you something about preschooler.
Preschooler, ito yung panahon na may kakayahan na yung isang bata para makapaglakad at makapagsalita. Kumbaga ito yung nagiging dito hinuhubog yung bata para maging handa sa pag-aaral.
Uy! Salita ng boss!
Wait lang.
Sige. Tapos ka na ba mag-vlog?
Hindi pa. Wait lang, nag-iisip ako kung ano sasabihin.
Para saan ba to, boss?
Para to sa kay Ma'am Early. Tinatawag namin sa sa CAD.
Importante ba yun?
Of course.
Ayun nga pala, no? Kumusta naman yung mga na-interview mo?
Yun, okay naman.
Okay naman?
Ano ba? Vlog ko to, bakit ako ini-interview mo?
sorry. Ano ba kasi yung tagal mo eh?
Wait lang. So we heard their own ideas about the preschooler. A child age of 3 to 5 years old is considered as a preschooler. The preschooler's social-emotional development is crucial in the preschool years. On this stage, a child is old enough to talk and walk, but who is too young to go to school. So let me ask you a question. Do you still remember when the first time that your mother sent you in preschool? What did you feel on that moment?
Wala.
Yeah. Oh, stuck XP. Kalimutan mo na yan, sige maglibang. Huwag kang magpakaibang, dapat ay itawa lang. Ang problema sa babae, dapat tininda. Hayaan mo silang mag-abol sa'yo, diba? Sabi ko naman sa'yo, lahat ka nagloloko. Pagkatapos kang pakinabangan, bigla lalayo. Kaya wag nang uulit pa.
Attending preschool is more for socialization than a formal academic learning. You cannot shape easily the mind of a child if his mind is set for playing and exploring other things he sees. He cannot comprehend easily about the academic stuff, but fond of playing with other children as the same age he is. Also, by this, meeting different people and exploring his surroundings is a chance for him to improve and develop his social skills. Therefore, the preschoolers are in the world of wonder and fascination. They are eager to explore the world and to earn a lot of knowledge. There are 6 big ideas on preschoolers' social-emotional development, but only 2 are my concern. First is preschoolers initiative. The preschoolers deal with psychological conflict of initiative versus guilt. Erickson believes that a healthy preschoolers develop initiative, the tendency of the preschooler to want to take action and assert themselves. They will learn to create, invent, pretend, and take risks and engage in lively and imaginative activities with. For instance, they spend much of their playtime in fantasy activities which tend to be more cooperative than play that focus on toy or game. Pretend plays allows children to slip into any role they wish, including Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, or any other Disney characters, and even Fairy Godmother, that will also help them to explore more complex social ideas. If the parents, teachers, and adults support these attempts and provide a stimulating environment, the preschooler's sense of initiative will grow. On the other hand, if the other adult shows overprotection and extreme restriction and criticism, the preschoolers will develop guilt. For preschooler, every place becomes a playground. Every single thing with an interesting place to tinker with. Sometimes adults see the preschooler as naughty or makulit. For instance, when he breaks something of value and they probably assume he's bad, he needs to be taught the difference between accidents and misbehaving. And also, simply saying I'm sorry may not help your child to correct his behavior. He also needs to know why he's apologizing. Maybe he can't understand now, but give her time to realize and learn from his own. Something that calls for a punishment, make sure he understands that he is being punished, not because he's bad. Instead of feeling him that he is bad, describe specifically what he did wrong, clearly separating the person from the behavior. The second one is self-concept and the preschooler. Self-concept refers to the way one sees himself, a general view about one's abilities, strengths, and weaknesses. The preschoolers will also be less dependent on you, a sign that his own senses of identity is stronger and more secure. Every preschooler wants to be praised whenever they do something good, but they become negative because of repeated frustration and disapproval. Show him by your own example how to cope peacefully with conflicts. If you have an explosive temper, try to tone down your reactions in his presence. Otherwise, he'll mimic your behavior, or probably there will be times when your child's anger and frustration becomes physical whenever he's under stress. Preschoolers are naturally positive. Usually they will tend to evaluate their skills high and underestimate the task. They are confident to try again even if they don't succeed with something. However, they may negative because of repeated frustration and disapproval. Preschoolers need a lot of patience and encouragement from adults. That's all. Thank you. Okay, that's all for my vlogs. And for more vlogs, information, and videos, please subscribe to my official YouTube channel, Ryan Vivo, or follow me to my official social media accounts, facebook.gov/theonlyryan and www.twitter.com/edu/200390-mn0. That's all. Beware of posters and fake accounts. That's all. Thank you. Thank you for watching. This is Ryan Escalano again. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Tulog pa rin.
Good morning, everyone. I am here to discuss about the various caregiving styles and what preschoolers can do and the role of caregivers in the social-emotional development of the preschooler. So, caregivers refers to both parents and teachers and also adults that cares for the child. Baldwin gave a model that describes the different types of caregiving styles. This was based on a longitudinal study that looked into the adult authority and the development of children that Baldwin conducted, which began in the 1960s. Responsiveness refers to caregiver behaviors that pertain to expression of affection and community. Demandingness refers to the level of control and expectations, which involves discipline and confrontation. Authoritative caregivers expect behavior appropriate to the age of the child, maintain reasonable and fair limits, closely monitor the activities of the child, communicate messages in a kind, clear, and consistent manner. Discipline approach focuses more on teaching than punishment. These are the effects of authoritative caregivers to the preschooler. Number 1. Make the preschooler feel safe and secure. Number 2. Develop good self-control. And lastly, builds the child's capacity for empathy. The authoritarian caregivers strive to have psychological control over the child, do not supervise children's activities very well, and then get upset if they make a mistake. Use corporal punishment, sarcasm, withdrawal of love. The effects of authoritarian caregivers to the preschooler. Number 1. Lead to aggressive behavior of the child. Number 2. Brings about poor self-control. Number 3. Results in poor self-esteem.
Permissive caregivers permit the preschoolers to regulate their own behavior and make their own decisions even when preschoolers are not yet ready to do so. Has little commitment to their roles as parents or caregivers. May be depressed or overburdened by many problems like poverty. These are the effects of permissive caregivers to the preschooler. Number 1. Tends to be dependent. Number 2. Tends to be demanding of their caregivers. Number 3. Does not easily follow or may be rebellious. Number 4. Difficulties in school performance. When parents' behavior is to the extreme or if child experiences this style early, the child may have attachment problems, delayed cognitive development, poor social and emotional skills, delinquent behavior later in adolescence.
So let's go now to what preschoolers can do. First, they express what he or she likes and dislikes, can talk about difficult feelings like anger, sadness, and worry she experiences. Persevere when he faced with challenging or new tasks. May feel sad at times, but not to the point where he or she is depressed. Plays to learn a game, show pleasure and enjoyment over his or her successful attempts or efforts. Seeks assistance from an adult or child to solve it. Feels others' distress and acts appropriately. Talks about own specific abilities and characteristics. Describes what primary caregivers can do, what they like and don't like. Plays with 2 or 3 children using the same play equipment. Takes turns and shares toys with others. Actively participates in classroom and group routines. They speak respectfully with adults using po and opo, recognizes the importance of adults' ideas and experiences by listening and asking questions when they share this, clarifies rules and routines before abiding by them, know when to stop asking a question or where he is being makulit, ask questions about new words and practices in the community, talks about gender differences and roles, willing to make friends with other children and adults in different situations and locations. From the discussion earlier, we can see the important role of teacher and parents play in the social-emotional development of the preschooler. So let me give you some tips for the caregivers. Number 1, greet each child with his or her names each day. Be sincere and respectful to each child. Number 2, read storybooks that deal about friendships and different feelings. Number 3, develop routines in the home or school that encourage working together and getting along. Number 4, help children learn to make rules and play simple games by providing opportunity for them to play in small groups. Number 5, play games that involve social interaction and teamwork. Number 6, observe how a child plays with other children. Number 7, help children understand and cope with strong feelings by giving the words that they can use to express how they feel. Number 8, use dolls, puppets, or pictures to demonstrate to children how to express feelings appropriately. Number 9, acknowledge how the child feels. For example, one can say, "You seem sad that you did not go to the party." When we do this, we are able to model to the preschooler that it is important to listen and that having feelings, even negative ones, are okay. Number 10, catch children doing good. Affirm the efforts they make to accomplish something. Be specific in your praise. Do not just say, "Good job" or "very good," but instead say, "When I saw you pack always your toys, I felt really happy. Remember to always pack your things."
As the preschoolers' ability to create schemas developed, they became capable of gender typing, gender roles, and gender identity. Gender typing is the process by which the child becomes aware of their gender and thus behaves accordingly by adopting values and attributes of members of the sex that they identify as their own. Gender role is a social role encompassing a range of behaviors and attitudes that are generally considered acceptable, appropriate, or desirable for people based on their actual or perceived sex or sexuality. Gender identity is one's personal experience of one's own gender. It can correlate with assigned sex or can differ from it. Gender typing and gender identity are influenced by environmental factors such as family, mass media, teachers, and peers. The first factor is the family. Differences in parental expectations and behaviors towards daughters and sons affect gender typing and gender identity. More often, boys are expected to show emotional control and be more competitive, while girls are expected to be warm and soft and demure. Parents also expect their children to play with toys that are right for their gender. For example, Mrs. Cruz always wanted to have a baby girl. She got pregnant for her first baby at the age of 36. During her ultrasound, Mr. and Mrs. Cruz found out that their baby was a boy. Mrs. Cruz was a little bit sad because it would be difficult for her to get pregnant again and have a baby girl. When the baby was born, Mrs. Cruz treated the baby as if it was a baby girl. Through time, the boy grew up and had to question his identity because he knew he was a boy but was treated like a girl. Mass media, which include television, movies, the internet, Computer games also offer various images of what it means to be a boy or a girl. For example, every time Mrs. Reyes had to do the house chores, her son Mark won't stay still and keeps on running around the house. To make Mark sit and behave, Mrs. Reyes would plug the television on and play the Barbie movies Mark's cousin Mika left at their house during their last visit. Because the movie is animated, Mark will sit down and watch the whole movie, but this will affect his identity. The third factor is the teachers. Preschool teachers should be thoughtful about their choices when it comes to books, clothes, and toys. For example, Teacher Mike is a member of the LGBT community. He teaches students in Erin Benigno's Memorial Preschool. While teaching, he wears clothes that are inappropriate for his gender. The students see and therefore conclude that it is okay for a male to wear something that a woman would wear. Lastly, the peers. Peer relationships play an important role in the development of a child's self-concept and have a strong impact on how children view their roles on males and females in our society. For example, Kiko, a 4-year-old kid, lives in an apartment with his parents. Kiko's aunt and her 3 daughters also live there. Kiko and his cousins would play every day. They would dress up Barbie dolls, play Chinese garter, pico, and would watch Barbie movies together. Considering there is only 1 boy and 3 girls, the parents agreed to play more girly movies to prevent Kiko's cousins from crying. Important stages of play. Play is the main agenda of the preschool years. Play has a social dimension. As the preschooler develops, social interaction with playmates increases. Mildred Parton, in the 1930s, did a study on children's play behavior which led to Parton's stages of play. The stages describe the play development of children and gradual increase of social interaction as they go through the stages.
The first stage is unoccupied stage. The child appears not to be playing but directs his attention on anything that interests him.
Solitary stage. It is a stage where a child can play on its own and does not seem to notice other children playing nearby. The next stage is the onlooker stage. The child spends time watching others play. He may talk to them but does not enter into play with them.
Ano yan? Saan ka? Wow.
Next is the parallel stage. Children starts to play side by side with each other without any interactions. Associative stage. Children will start asking questions with each other. They have similar goals but have no set of rules.
May party ka. Meron. Ako nga meron. May malaki. Dalhin mo sa susunod.
Kikilaro tayo sa inyo
Malaki sa akin.
Social stage, when children begin to share ideas and toys and follow established rules and guidelines.
Kakain daw siya. Huwag mo siyang basain! Kasi dito siya babasain.
Papakain ko nga nun siya. Ewan ko nasali.
Di wag.
They continue to grow, preschoolers become interested in having friends. This should be encouraged in the preschool years as friendship benefit the preschoolers' development by providing stimulation, assistance, companionship, social comparison, and affection. Through friendships, preschoolers are able to practice different social roles like being a leader, a follower, someone who takes risks, and someone who helps out and comforts. Friendship are very important because they provide added sense of belongingness and security. In the preschool years, parents and teachers must expose children to experiences that help them learn skills in establishing friendships, maintaining positive relationships, and resolving conflicts.
Okay na. Ano? Ganun lang?
Bye-bye! So, chicken sound!
Since we said goodbye, I cut you off. I don't need your love, so you can try all you want. Your time is up, I'll tell you why. You say you're sorry, but it's too late now. So save it, get gone, shut up. 'Cause if you think I care about you now, well boy, I don't give a fuck.
What is up, you guys? It's your girl Sabi again for Group 5, the preschoolers. And meron kami gagawin ngayon na parang filler, which is called the
Ayan, backgrade for field study days. So, ang gagawin namin, nandito si Teacher LG, si Teacher Mikay, and si Teacher Ninay para tignan natin yung mga bugs nila. Kung ano ba talaga yung usually na dinadala or ginagamit ng mga teachers natin kapag field study 1 natin, kapag nag-observe tayo sa school. So, anong school ang in-observe mo?
Aguinaldo.
Aguinaldo Elementary School, ikaw?
San Rafael.
San Rafael Elementary School.
Aguinaldo
Aguinaldo Elementary School and si Sabi.
Aguinaldo Elementary School.
Aguinaldo Elementary School. Ako ay sa Cubang Elementary School, pero sila ang ibabagrade natin for this video. So, umpisahan natin yung backgrade sa kung ano yung physical bags na meron sila. First one, Sabi, anong usually na dinadala mo kapag field study?
Okay, ito yung bag ko. Blue. Madaling dalhin. Backpack. Teacher friendly. Meron akong pouch. Kasi ang bag ng babae para siyang black hole. So dapat meron ka mga pouch para hindi scattered yung mga gamit mo. Meron akong pouch. At ang nilalaman nito ay mga pampaganda. Lip tint, ganun. Pulbo. Ito yung pulbo. Nasa labas. And meds, vitamins. And ano pa ba? Ballpen. May ballpen din dito. In case na malimutan ko yung pencil case ko, papakita ko mamaya. And lip tint. Para simple lang. Tapos meron akong pencil case. Marami naman kung ano-ano. Siyempre pag teacher, may eraser, may pencil, may tape corrector ba yun? Tape corrector.
Organized naman, teacher.
Organized talaga.
Stamps.
Highlighter na pastel. Kasi cute. Kasi niniwala ko, pag meron akong pastel na highlighter, papasa ako sa exam sa mga hina-highlight ko. Meron akong cellphone, charger, power bank.
Kasi syempre, bawal naman mag-charge sa...
Kaya naman makicharge. Cycle. Hindi ko siya maalis sa bag ko. I don't know.
Ako din.
Cycle of math. At saka wallet, syempre. Mamasahe. And water.
Psychopath.
Hindi kasi madami dapat na tubig. Kasi usually, parang kapag wala, di ka nag-observe ka lang naman, di ka masyadong nagsasalita. Parang kailangan lang talaga may tubig ka para, diba guys?
And last na makikita nyo ay mga notebooks ko. At saka, ito yung mga dinadala ko normally sa school. Hindi ko na siya naaalis. And field study manual na hindi ko naman dala ngayon kasi hindi ko siya nadala ngayon. Pero dala ko yung field study manual. And meron kaming dalang FS letter pero nasa isang grupo lang namin yun sa school. Wala siya sa akin. So yun lang sa bag ko.
Ayun. So syempre dapat mag-notes din tayo kapag nag-field study tayo. Kasi meron tayong sinasagutan dun sa field study 1 natin sa book. So kailangan every time na mag-field study tayo, pupunta tayo sa school na in-observe natin, kailangan nakikita natin yung mga tanong para at the same time, sa mismong exact time na yon, natatanong natin or na-observe natin yung mga questions para nasasagot natin yun nandun sa libro. So, next naman si Teacher Ninay, ano yung usually naman ng bag mo tuwing field study?
Laki ng bag niya, guys.
Ang bigat.
Transport.
So, guys, marami akong dalang gamit. Pag mo transport ko, guys.
May verse pa yan.
Full cream na transport. So, meron akong umbrella.
Tama yan. Umbrella sa init sa ulan.
I have water here.
Puno.
Painom!
Ayan. Actually, kasi nandito kami sa Oval.
Oo.
And,
Yes.
Tinatawag namin
Listik.
Ovalist.
Yes, CPSPA.
Yes, tama yan.
Event nun.
So, kailangan...
Kaya na sa akin.
I have highlighters too. And third color of pens. Saka pencil.
And then, that's it.
Pouch. Makeup. Actually, fresh. Tatlo yung pouch niya. So, para guys, eto. Mabait ako. Mahal ko si Lord. Yes! Mahal ako dito.
Devotion
notes.
starter pack. Devotion starter pack. And then, ano yan?
Whiteboard mark.
Oh, teacher.
Eraser. And calculator.
Teachers talaga.
Wala ako yan lahat.
Lahat ng kay LG, puro ano.
Personals, ganyan. Ano pa?
Papers. Notebooks. Hindi na natin pa-upload. Nandito rin yung FS1 manual ko para sa nag-observe.
Ayan, so nakita natin yung kay Teacher Ninay na may mga nasa loob talaga ng bag na hindi na natin usually naaalis. Pero actually, essential naman siya sa field study, like yung notes niya, kailangan natin mag-take ng notes. Next naman is si Teacher Mikay. Teacher Mikay, ano naman ang bag natin?
Wait lang, ito muna yung bag. Ito yung bag na
Ito
yun.
yung bag.
Mabigat din siya pang malakasan. Siyempre, papahuli ba? So, una na dyan, siyempre hindi mawawala ang ating charan! Makeup kit!
Laging fresh.
Kailangan fresh, yes! Kailangan maging fresh para hindi nagmumukhang stress tayo sa room. Pencil case. Love na love ko to. Yung mga ballpen ko na iba't ibang kulay.
Mga nakukuha niya kapag katapos
ng FS.
Pagpatapos ng school, ay ng klase, yung nasa ilalim, mga nalalaglag. Si Mikay po yun.
Yan guys, alam nyo na.
Pocket money. Ang laman mo.
Anong laman?
Alaman.
Land bank?
Oh, mayaman, mayaman.
Biker drum. Perks per drum. Pure gold.
Nanay ka ba, teacher?
11. So, ayan.
Ang daming card, di ba siya?
Yan naman ang ano ko. Tapos, may pera? Yes naman, may pera. Ano naman yung pera? Bakit naman yung pera?
Ate nga.
Private. Umbrella, ayoko na nainitan ako.
Oo, tama yan.
Nagugluta yan.
Ako kasi wala akong umbrella, kaya kita naman.
Lang na lang po yung notebook ko na napaganda. Ayan, hi teacher. Ayan, nakita nyo, yan.
Pakita mo.
Ayan o, ayan.
Zoom in.
Ayan. At pag nakikita ko ng mga estudyante ko, napapawaw sila, parang, inosente kayo? Next time pinapakita ko ng colorful na notebook, check na.
Rainbow note.
Yan, yung mga chemistry sa school.
Regicard.
Siyempre, yes.
Yung katachiki si teacher na hindi nawawala lagi.
Yes, pangmalakasan eh. Study manual din, guys. Ayan, manual. Manual. Tapos, FS letter. Tapos, pabango. Kailangan maging mabango.
First time may naglabas ng pabango.
Yes.
Hagis mo dito.
Tapos, hindi mawawala ang panyo.
Wala akong panyo.
And that's all.
Kasi masyado kasi kaming pawisin. Talagang most of the time kailangan. Ito, kapag one time nga yung critic ko, nilagay ko yung handkerchief ko sa desk niya. Tapos nangyari, ginamit niya, akala niya sa kanya, totoo yun. Tapos nagturo siya, gamit-gamit yun. Tapos yung mga, sinabi ko naman at the end ng turo niya. Kasi hindi ko siya ma-interview kasi nagtuturo na siya. Tapos alam ng mga students na in-observe ko na hindi kanya at sa akin yun. So parang medyo awkward din na hingiin ko pa. Pero anyway, yun nga, important.
So, binigay mo na.
Kahit nakikritik ko yung handkerchief. Anyways, for the last na ibabagrade natin is si Teacher
LG!
Ayan, so ano muna yung bag niya? So, tignan natin.
Yung bag ko is Asus.
Ninakaw niya po yan.
Ito yung 3D
Freebie pag bumibili ka ng laptop.
So mayaman ka kasi may laptop ka.
Hindi po!
Ano mahirap?
Siyempre, unang-una dyan. Sabi ko, isabay na mo, mga essential needs natin.
FS4, sa FS4 nila.
FS4 namin, napakahirap na. Episode back.
So, usually kasi,
Paging Sir Lily.
nag-observe tayo, field study 1 and 4. So, actually, magkakasama na yung manual study for field study 1 and 4 para at the end of the day, parehas namin nagagawa yung task sa both field
Yung
study
letter namin for FS1.
and 4.
Ito, wallet. Lagayan lang siya ng charger at saka ng earphones. Kasi ayoko na.
Centralize, sama.
Organize kami lang.
Ang arte naman ni teacher.
Ganyan talaga ang buhay.
Kailangan.
Ito. Siya makeup kasi hindi mo lang makeup.
We, ano yung suot mo?
Puro lipstick lang siya, tapos ito, pang ano ba to?
Still, para sa
Actually pala,
makeup
lipstick
din.
ng tropa to. Lipstick ng bayan.
Lipstick ng FS1 eh.
Yes! So ito is, mga lagayan ko ng kung ano.
Pens.
Mapagpanggap eh.
Ito na rin pala ako.
So may highlighter.
May highlighter ako, may whiteboard marker.
Ninakaw niya po yan sa
Yun yung
national.
mga nahuhulog na mga teacher kapag pagkatapos ng discussion.
Tissue.
Ayan, siya lang lagi
Siya yung
yung
provider ng tissue namin.
provider ng tissue ng bayan ng masa ng 2FS1.
Ba't ako walang payo?
Dahil nagugluta yan.
Tubig, wala nang laman.
Ayan, so dapat talaga. Ano pa teacher?
Pamay-pay, kasi mainit.
Oo, yan, dapat.
Lagayan ko ng salamin.
Saan mo binili ang salamin mo, Tit?
Sunny specs. Mahirap lang siya.
Sunny specs. Mahirap lang siya, naka-sunny specs.
Tapos notebook ko sa FS.
Notes.
Nakalagay
Note taking kapag, ano pa teacher?
Ito, yung mga hindi mawala.
Oo, yung hindi na natin lagi na ilalabas sa bag.
Sa bag. Kasi mga importanteng gang.
Mga pang-school na lang. Kasi may kasabihan, hindi ka daw mag-graduate kung hindi kompleto ang regicard. At R0.
At saka, wallet.
Patingin ang laman.
Yung wallet ko, hindi niya tinanong ko nung lamon. Wala ko doon.
Sige, maliit. Ay, ito teacher. Ito yung pangmayaman starter pack ng teacher natin. Oh.
Isuma. Akin, ilapit mo.
Hindi na natin iisa-isayin pero kikita naman. Girl, teacher. Yan. So,
Mga ninanakaw.
kapag wala kayong budget, wala kayong makeup, wala kayong tissue.
Meron pa.
Palaban yan.
Marami akong anik-anik sa bag. Panyo.
Panyo, yan.
Suklay na madumi.
Suklay ng bayan.
Suklay ng bayan.
Suklay na ito, episode.
Papango.
Ay, meron din siya.
May aso sa likod.
Salamin din ng bayan.
Salamin din ng bayan.
Yun, blotting paper ng bayan.
So, ngayon na nga, natapos na tayo kay Teacher LG, Teacher Mikay, may Teacher Ninay, and Teacher Isabel. So, sana maging essential yung video na to para sa mga future teacher natin na nag-field study ngayon. Kasi, dapat kasi talagang ready yung bag natin kapag field study. Like yung mga nakikita natin usually sa bags, na meron ngayon yung mga teachers natin, talaga namang dapat na dala natin di lang for everyday use, kundi for field study purposes. So ayan, thank you sa panonood. Ayan, so thank you guys, and sana nag-enjoy kayo and sana makinig kayo sa susunod na video na to. Yun lang, thank you!